Hey, it's me, MLB. This is my first time posting on YouTube. These stories are mine. Well, the plot line is anyway. The creator of the characters that I've used in this story from Boku No Hero Academia, Kohei Horikoshi. I hope I said his name right. And this is a story with Kirishima Eijirou. Sorry if I've said his name wrong. I am an Australian, so excuse the accent, as I will be saying mummy instead of mom. I think that's how most Americans pronounce it. This is my story called Be With Me. It's originally written as an ex-reader, but I am now changing it to an ex-listener, obviously, because you'll be listening to it on YouTube. So hopefully it translates well enough. If you want to read the story ahead of time, you're welcome to find it on my website, quirkyfanfics.com. I'll hopefully put the link to it at the beginning of the story so that you can find it. But until then, here we go. We'll see how this story goes. This is chapter 1, Be With Me. Shark. Mummy, someone's moving in next door. Your 4-year-old voice rang out down the hall as you sat at the front window peering through the glass with one tiny hand holding the sheer curtains back. And there's a boy! Your mum chuckled to herself from where she was chopping vegetables for dinner. Well then, why don't you go out and say hello, she called encouragingly back to you. But stay in the yard, please, Yin. Yes, Mummy, he yelled back as you jumped off the top lounge and scurried to the front door. Reaching up on tippy toes, you placed your hands on the front doorknob and swung it to the side. The door jab clicked open from the hold and out the door swung. You jumped down the front steps and skipped over to the white picket fence that surrounded your front yard and pressed your face up to the painted wooden posts peeking through. Strong men carried boxes and furniture past your viewing place and up to the front door of the neighbouring house. You followed their movements with your eyes. I wonder where that boy went. Hello? A small voice said from beside you on your side of the fence. You jumped back and looked to your left. There was a small boy, about the same height as you, standing there looking at you. What are you doing here? This is where I live, you squeaked. Why was he standing in your yard? Didn't he know he was supposed to live next door? You live there, you pouted, pointing authoritatively to the neighbouring house. The boy looked to where you were pointing and grinned. That's my new house, he said excitedly, flashing you a wide smile. Your eyes were immediately drawn to his sharp, pointy teeth. You have sharp teeth, you stated bluntly. He blushed and covered his mouth hurriedly, slightly embarrassed that you'd pointed out his teeth so quickly. Yeah, he mumbled through his fingers. Oh, but I like them. They're like a shark's teeth. Shark's teeth are cool, you said proudly, placing your closed fist on your hips. What's your name? My name is Yin. I'm Eijirou, the boy replied shyly, slowly taking his hands down from his mouth. Is that your first name? Don't you know you're only supposed to tell people your first name when you're really good friends with them? You chided. Oh, Eijirou blushed again and lowered his gaze, stubbing his toe into the soft grass of your front lawn. Well, do you want to be my friend? Yeah, okay, you replied confidently. Would you like to be my best friend? Because you live right next door to me. You beamed at him. His shy eyes shot up and met yours. Really? We can be best friends? Of course we can, you replied, rolling your eyes. Come and meet my mum. Then it's real, you said, grabbing his hand and marching towards your front door. Okay. And then you can come and meet my mum so that she knows it too, he said, running a little to keep up with you. You dragged the cute little black-haired boy with the pointy teeth up to your front steps and pushed the front door open. Mummy, I want you to meet my best friend, you hollered down the hallway, dragging Eijirou behind you. You found your mum in the kitchen and proudly presented your new neighbour. Mummy, this is my best friend. Your mother turned and smiled down at the shy little boy as he hid behind you a little and peeked out. Hello, sweetheart. Have you just moved here today? She asked, crouching down so she was eye level with him. Mm-hmm, he replied with a small nod of his head. What's your name, darling? Your mum asked him. Before Eijirou could reply, you piped up and answered for him. His name is Shark, Mummy, because he has really pointy teeth. Look! You reached out for the poor little boy's mouth and pulled his lips apart so that your mum could see. Eijirou pushed your hands away and hid his mouth, tears welling up in his eyes from embarrassment. You saw and felt bad immediately. Oh, I'm sorry, best friend, you said, hugging him. I didn't mean to make you sad. You patted his head softly. Eijirou looked at you and then at your mum and then back to you. I'm sorry, you added, taking his face in your hands and turning to him. I really like you and I want to call you Shark because I love sharks. Eijirou seemed okay with that explanation and removed his hands from his mouth and sniffed, wiping his eyes gently. Well, what do I call you then? He asked, cocking his head to the side. Well, my quirk is that I can make glue come out of my fingers. It's really strong glue, you said, straightening with pride. So it's sticky? He asked. Well, I guess so, you replied, thinking about it. Is it icky? He questioned again. You giggled. Yeah, it's definitely icky. I'll call you Icky then, Eijirou said, happy to have come up with an acceptable nickname. You giggled again and placed your arm across his shoulders, turning to face your mum, who was still an amused onlooker of this very cute interaction between her little girl and the new neighbour. We are best friends, Shark and Icky, you proudly presented. And now I'm going to go and meet my best friend's mummy. Your mum stifled a giggle and stood up. Okay, sweetheart, well, I would like to meet your best friend's mum too, so I'll come with you. She followed you as you and your new best friend, Shark, ran for the front door. She was so happy that you'd made a best friend so quickly. She had hoped that you would find someone soon, so that the move to this new area would be less daunting for you. Looks like you'd be just fine after all. And that is the end of chapter 1. Stay tuned for chapter 2.